Hello, friends, and welcome to the Celebration of Heart. I'm Therese Fignol.
And I'm Laura Britt. We're actually doing this thing.
I know.
This is awesome. We are honored to be joining you from the Purple Patch Fitness Performance Center. They kindly lended us their location tonight. This year's gala has some of us gathering together from home, of course, surrounded by friends, family, and those that share our belief in the mission of the Challenged Athletes Foundation. Some of us are gathered at personal parties, but wherever you are, we're really excited that you're joining us tonight. And as we rejoin our activities and our community moves from virtual back to in-person, thank goodness. I know we're all excited about that. One thing we know to be true, the power of sport is so very healing.
For the next 45 minutes, we invite you to partake in some special activities brought to you by some very special people in our community. You'll enjoy mixing a cocktail with CAF athlete chef Eduardo Garcia. I'm looking forward to this.
Yes, me too.
BTW. Enjoy the music of Bay Area's well-known strangers and hear from Bay Area Challenge athletes on how they've powered through the past year and a half.
And we hope that you'll connect with the people in your circle who you're spending time with right now.
Like this.
Yeah, we're connecting.
Yeah, we're hanging out.
Yeah, we're hanging out. It's just the two of us, but we're hanging out. We got people here too.
Yeah, we're all hanging out together. You're all enjoying your time together. So let's just get comfortable. Let's have some fun. This is all about fun.
It is. It really is. And it's all about raising money for a really good cause. Okay, at 6:45, we're going to be ready to share the powerful feature stories of the night. But first things first, let's enjoy some music from the well-known strangers and kick this party off.
Let's go.
K9 Blues. Take one.
We love hearing the well-known strangers.
Are we supposed to howl right now?
Yeah, is that what?
I don't want to howl right now. I'm going to look at you do it. You do it.
There you go. All right. Howl out to the well-known strangers. You get that? Howl out instead of a shout out. Get
Yeah,
it? Okay.
I bet no
I
one's
totally
doing
just
that right
botched
now.
it now, but you know what? They have a special connection to CAF, and what's even better is they have a special surprise later on the show. I'm not going to tell you about it because it's a surprise.
I actually have no idea what it is, so I'm interested to hear about
I know
this.
it's in here.
Oh, well, don't open your programs then.
Just kidding.
As we spend this evening together, we sure do hope that you'll feel a connection with the athletes that you'll meet. Throughout the night, you're going to be able to make donations using your device, whatever device that may be. So we're not particular. We don't care what your device is.
Laptops, tablets, cell phones, however you want to connect, give some money as you connect.
Yes, and we're going to be tracking our progress throughout the night. Now, here's how it's going to work. This heart that you're about to see on your screen is going to fill throughout the night. Now, the more we all give, the faster the heart will fill up, right?
That makes sense.
This is very simple.
Yes.
Wow, this is incredible. This is absolutely amazing.
Whoa, it just went up another 10 grand. Hey.
That's called live TV, my friends. We're watching it go up live. All you got to do is text COH to 858-221-9014. After that, you're going to be asked to make a pledge with your name and a gift amount, and you'll officially be a part of that heart. You might even see your name on the screen.
And maybe you'll get a shout out from Laura Britt, which is even better.
Potentially,
if she can say your name.
That's Therese knows all my secrets. If I can't say your name, I don't want to mess up your name.
As you saw, we were at 24,000, but tonight we have a goal to raise $100,000 to fill the heart and help athletes who are emerging from the stress of this pandemic. I'm tired of saying that word. Hopefully we don't have to ever say it again after this.
I have a feeling we might be saying it a few more times.
A few more times. Is it in the, yeah, okay, it's in the script. Right now, though, we'd like to head out to Montana, where our friend Chef Eduardo Garcia will help us kick up our celebration tonight.
Wait, you said a chef?
I did say chef.
Okay, we can't mess up this look. Hold on.
Oh, true.
I've got something for us.
I somehow
Therese.
escaped my house without my kids messing
look.
this up. Oh, this is what I should.
I don't know if you did you get the gift box, the CAF gift
did.
box? Okay, well this was in it. And we got ours. If we're mixing stuff up,
I want to protect this cute outfit that you have on, and somehow you made it out without the kids spilling on you, and same here. So let's make sure we don't spill any Montana Rita.
I don't even, here we go. Tie in the front, people, tie in the front.
There we go.
Key.
So pull on your aprons, grab your Montana Rita mixes, and let's get it going. All right, Eduardo, let's mix it up.
Hey everybody, how are you this evening? Laura and Therese, thank you so much for that introduction. I'm Chef Eduardo Garcia, and we are streaming live from my house in Southwest Montana. We are here in my kitchen. This is where my heart pours itself out. I'm a professional chef. I am also a challenged athlete, and I am here with all of you. We're gonna make a cocktail. I am excited to be a part of tonight's celebration. Alan Shankin, Allison, Lotte, my host for the evening, thank you so much for holding the space and bringing this night together. Usually, we'd be getting together in person. We all know the drill. It's been a challenging year, and yet we are still raising the roof in honor of the Challenge Athletes Foundation. So before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that this is a fundraising event. Every dollar that goes into this event pours into an athlete like myself, who at one point in time hit a brick wall and said, how am I going to live my best life ever? That's where the Challenge Athletes Foundation comes in. So, 858-221-9014. If you text that number, that'll bring you directly to a link where you'll be able to fundraise and donate on behalf of athletes like myself. So do not be shy, get in there, and let's get started. So we're making a cocktail tonight. This is a throwout to all you San Francisco, all you Bay Area folks. So it is a classic margarita, and yet it's a Tommy's margarita, which means it hails from a bartender named Julio Bermejo from Tommy's down in the Richmond district, Tommy's Mexican restaurant. So in the 1990s, Julio decided to put agave nectar in his margarita, which made it a Tommy's. Well, we're taking that, and tonight we're doing a Montana Rita, which means we're gonna take Tommy's recipe, but we're also gonna add this sweet seasoning that my company Montana Mex makes. Everyone should have got this in their essentials kit, and it's a mix of clove and allspice and ginger, organic sugars, and orange peel. And we all know that with a margarita, orange peel is just this classic or orange flavor for a margarita, raises the roof. So let's get going. First thing, I'm gonna take a lime, I'm gonna cut it, and we're gonna squeeze this into our cocktail. Before we do that, I'm gonna just wet the rim of my cocktail glass. Then I'm gonna take my sweet seasoning, give it a tear. Oh, there we go. So I'm a professional chef and I've been cooking since I was 15 years old. And becoming an amputee 10 years ago has been a whole adventure into in itself. And one of them is just simply how to do things again in the kitchen. So it's exciting for me to be able to cook with all of you and share kind of what I do and my skills. And I've always been confident in the kitchen and with cooking, but after becoming an amputee, there was a total moment where it's like, how am I gonna do this again? Dropping stuff all the time. How am I gonna hold a knife and chop and do the thing? And well, you figure it out. You just figure it out, but it doesn't come easy. I mean, you gotta fight for it. And that's where the Challenge Athletes Foundation really comes in. So my story is that I think it was about 2013, my friends, the Franklins, Martin and Julie, were talking about me. We had known each other for a while. Gosh, Eduardo had this catastrophic injury. He lost his hand. How are we gonna help him out? And it was actually their son, Mikey Franklin, that said, well, why don't we introduce Eduardo to the Challenge Athletes Foundation? So the introduction was made. There we go, cocktail glass, rimmed and ready to go. We'll put this right here. So the Franklins introduced me to the Challenge Athletes Foundation. I went to my first event in New York, and on a fun run in Central Park, it was actually the athlete Thomas Kane. Thomas came up to me. He said, Eduardo, what are you doing running with your prosthetic on? I showed up to a fun run with this on. And I was like, oh, I'm going for a run, man. What are you doing? And he's like, well, I'm running too. And he had an amputation right here, just like me, mid-forearm. And he said, Eduardo, if you take it off, man, you're going to run easier. You're not going to have all that added weight. You're going to be way more ergonomic in your movements. Give it a shot. And I was so scared. I was so scared to be out in public with my bare forearm. And yet, through the Challenge Athlete, Thomas Kane, through the organization, the Challenge Athletes Foundation, I found my confidence to own the fact that I'm an amputee. Here I am today, live streaming with all of you. So all my thanks goes to the Challenge Athletes Foundation. This is to the staff, the faculty, the community, the other athletes. Thank you so much for helping lift me out of a very challenging place 7 years ago. Back to this cocktail. Let's do this. So, we've got our cocktail glass, nice and seasoned with your Montana Mex seasoning blend. This is what officially makes it a Montana Rita. A little crushed ice into your shaker. We've got a nice Reposado Corralejo tequila. We're gonna do 2 full ounces because come on, we are celebrating tonight. There we go. Tequila goes in. 1/2 ounce of agave. I really like using agave versus just straight sugar or simple syrup. In my Montana Rita, I feel like the sweetness is a little bit more subtle. It's just enough to balance the acidity, but it has a quick finish. So we end up tasting that tequila, we end up tasting the fresh lime, and we don't end up sort of having our palate coated by sugar throughout the whole drink. Next step, fresh lime juice. We want about 1/2 ounce of lime juice. It's roughly about 1 full lime. If you have smaller limes, you can go more. If you have big limes, I don't think a little extra lime juice is gonna hurt anything. Okay. All of our essential ingredients are now in our shaker. Make sure our lid is firmly on. Give this a good shake. Yeah. Take some nice cocktail ice. Here we go. So now that we have our cocktails made, hopefully most of you out there were making along with me, but we're gonna raise our glass. We're gonna raise our glass to this organization, the Challenge Athletes Foundation. It's more than just a biking organization, a triathlon organization, a sport organization. This is an organization that opens hearts up, that opens the minds up, that completely changes the perspective of what it is to be living with a physical disability. They completely smash that kind of glass wall that a lot of us face when we're confronted with a traumatic event like this, or even if it's congenital and we're born like this and we come into our life thinking, gosh, everyone's different than me. I'm not built the same. Challenge Athletes Foundation shatters that barrier. They take the DIS out of disability and they just focus on abilities. They focus on the heartbeat. And so this is to all the faculty, all the staff, all the volunteers, and all my fellow challenge athletes out there. Cheers from Montana, from my kitchen. I love all of you. Thank you for lifting me up and helping me be a better Eduardo Garcia in the world. This was a scary thing to have happen to me. Through each and every one of you and those tuning in tonight in support of the Challenge Athletes Foundation, you lift us up. You encourage us to be our best selves. Cheers and salud. Tommy, I think you'd be proud of the Montana Rita. This is lovely. So, if you're making a cocktail, I want to see it. The Challenge Athletes Foundation wants to see it, and our community wants to see it. Take a picture, throw it up, hashtag celebrate heart SF or hashtag CAF strong. Don't forget, 858-221-9014 is the number that you can text to donate. This is a fundraiser. All of the money coming in tonight is going to an amputee like myself and helping them get off the couch and out into life, because we know here at the Challenge Athletes Foundation that a life of sports leads to a life that is elevated and full of purpose. So enjoy your evening. Enjoy spending time with my fellow challenge athletes and learning how they made it through this last year and how they kept their spirits up in this last year. Thank you so much for having me. Salud, adios, see you all soon.
Hello, everyone. My name is Diane No, and welcome to the Athlete Spotlight here for the Challenge Athletes Foundation. We are all Bay Area Challenge athletes and excited to share what we've been up to over the past year and what we're looking forward to. I am here with Antonia Di Michelle, Ben Thornton, Garnett Silver Hall. We really miss being in person with everyone, but we're excited to celebrate with all of you tonight. So welcome. For someone in their 40s, I'm happy to say that it took 4 decades for me to feel like a total athlete. I'm a polio survivor, and I have lived with wearing a leg brace. My right leg and my left arm is affected and impacted, but through the sport of CrossFit training with our coach, Max Conserva, we have really formed a great community of athletes and those of us that train pretty much on a weekly basis. And it was through this class that I met Alan Shankin, who's on board with the Challenge Athletes Foundation and who's also one of our main driver here in the Bay Area about this organization, and back in 2017. And it's been an amazing relationship. What I have been doing for our Challenge athletes is actually I'm an artist, and part of my artwork is I sell my work, and a portion of my work goes to nonprofits, and I support the Challenge Athletes Foundation through that venue. I'm also a grants recipient, and so what I like to do is I like to raise enough support for the grant that I apply for. That's my goal every year. But also through this organization, I've been able to raise money to help our amazing athletes like Andre Kotlik, who is one of our great champion hand cyclists, world record breaker as well. And for me, and I think for Antonia and for Ben and for Garnett, the pandemic has been really, really challenging because it's really locked us indoors at home. And for many of us, getting out and exercising has been impacted. And without exercise, it does absolutely affect not just our physical health, but also our mental and emotional health. And I have been really I've been really challenged. I've dealt with some just some depression and stuff, but I've been able to get back into training because our coach Max Conserva does his training online now through Zoom. So we find creative ways to continue to stay in touch and to participate and to be active as much as we can. But again, it is really critical that there's enough funding and support for us to be able to find ways to pay for training that typically we could go in person, but now at home, we may not have access to equipment. We may not have access to, just in-person training, which is actually really, really critical. So any support that you can give, we really, really welcome it. And for me, one of the things that I've really benefited from too is with Max and Ellen and several of other teammates, we went and competed in the first Working Wounded Games back in 2017, and CIF totally supported all of our team in getting us funding to fly out and to compete with other working wounded folks in adaptive CrossFit back in Maryland. So that was an exciting opportunity for us to represent CIF in that venue. What I'm really looking forward to is with a Celebration of the Heart is just to be able to learn more about the local athletes here in the Bay Area. And we really want to grow the Bay Area participation and get the word out and meet more athletes and build this network, because at the end of the day is the community of athletes is meeting my fellow partners and like Antonia, and to be able to work out together, to be able to share our stories and our struggles and challenges and to encourage each other is really the thing that keeps me going. And we're so fortunate that CAF supports that and provides programming and events and opportunities for us to really connect with each other. We would really love to raise as much funds as possible for tonight for this event so that we can actually grow and have more programming done locally in the Bay Area. So thank you so much. And I wanted to go ahead and introduce my good friend and training partner, Antonia DiMichele.
Thanks, Diane. As Diane said, my name is Antonia, and I'm so excited to be here with you all today. My sport that I participate in through the support of Challenged Athletes Foundation is called Adaptive CrossFit. I was born with spastic diplegia cerebral palsy. My involvement with CAF in the NorCal or Bay Area community has really taken place over the past 4 years since I started Adaptive CrossFit in 2017. But I've known about CAF since I was in high school. I actually went to an adaptive clinic with CAF Ambassador Sarah Reinertsen when I was in high school, and then met our dear friend Alan Shankin over the course of time. But it's really been in these past 4 years that I've been more involved. CAF has helped fund my adaptive CrossFit training with our coach, Max Conserva. And I've also participated in a number of clinics throughout the years. So I would say that the hardest part of the pandemic for me has actually been completely losing a physical space to work out in. Unfortunately, due to the economic impacts of the pandemic, San Francisco CrossFit, they had to completely close. They went out of business. We were really looking forward to going back there eventually, but unfortunately that's not possible now. And most of Max's classes have migrated to taking place on Zoom, which is a wonderful alternative, but I can tell you right now that it's not the same as being in a gym. CrossFit is a highly specialized athletic pursuit that requires a lot of equipment that I just don't have access to in a virtual setting. So I really do miss the sense of community of being in a physical gym together with all of the friends like Diane and others that I've made through participating in Max's adaptive CrossFit program. However, I am happy to say that I've also learned new skills while participating in our virtual adaptive CrossFit workouts. So it hasn't been all bad. I've been able to learn new movements and work on new skills. In terms of what I'm looking forward to next, I actually did just sign up for an in-person adaptive CrossFit competition happening in Alameda, California, here in the Bay Area in November. With my friend Rachel Morgan, who's also a CAF athlete and has been a longtime training partner of mine. So I'm really excited about that. And my long-term goal is to find a new CrossFit gym to call home here in the Bay Area. Thank you for having me tonight. I'm now excited to introduce two college athletes from the University of Arizona's wheelchair basketball team. To close out our spotlight, please welcome Ben Thornton and Garnett Silverhall.
Thanks, Antonia. I'm Garnett, and I'm here with my friend and teammate, Ben Thornton.
How's it going, guys?
Me and Ben met a long time ago through Bay Area Outreach and Recreation Program. We played wheelchair basketball together since we were both about, I don't know, maybe 11, 12 years old. And we again played basketball throughout our whole middle school and high school careers, and are now still playing wheelchair basketball together at the University of Arizona.
Yeah, I remember, I'm pretty sure I was 11 years old, and I decided to try wheelchair basketball. This was with BORP, the Bay Area Outreach and Recreation Program. And I, decided to show up to a practice. And Garnett was one of my very first friends that I made through the program. And yeah, we've been friends ever since. And like Garnett said, we're still pursuing wheelchair basketball to this day. We're both going into our sophomore year at the University of Arizona. We're just enjoying life, COVID, it really, it was quite the experience, especially since it was our freshman year. It was difficult, but, everyone had to go through it, and, we're still pushing along, and we're looking forward to next year.
It has been a wild journey, but a good one, and especially thanks to organizations such as CAF, who have enabled both Ben and I to receive basketball chairs to continue pursuing our endeavors and careers in wheelchair basketball. Pandemic has posed a lot of challenges for us, but as athletes and as persons with disabilities, we have always had to overcome. So this is just one more step in the road.
I remember when I first started playing wheelchair basketball, and it was right after that moment that I was sure that I wanted to continue on and actually play the sport. It was when I was 12 or 13. I was still using the program chairs that were programmed through BORP. They have program chairs that they let the newer kids use to try out. And I was like, what, I actually want to pursue this sport. And I wasn't sure how I was going to fund for a new basketball chair because they're so pricey. My coach, Trooper Johnson, he referenced me to Challenge Athletes Foundation, and I was accepted for a grant, and I was able to get my first basketball chair, and I was so thrilled. And ever since then, CAF has just been blessing me and other adaptive athletes with the proper equipment that they need, and it's just so awesome.
Yeah, truly a blessing. I know I love just seeing all the things CAF is doing all the time around the entire world, honestly. But especially for a lot of my friends and other teammates who just want to take it to the highest level that they can. And yeah, like Ben was saying, it's hard to fund a basketball wheelchair especially, but a lot of other equipment sometimes. So for CAF to be there and to just be that means of pursuing, in Ben and I's case, an education at the same time as pursuing our careers is amazing.
It is amazing. And cheers to all of you. We have our Montana Ritas, and the outfits were saved.
Yep, we had to do some mixing, and none of it got on my shirt or anything like that.
I'm
see, now you're proving the point of why we had to wear this.
We need to do this.
Okay, cheers.
Ooh. Delicious. Mm-hmm. Very limey.
Mm-hmm. The bartender did a great job.
These, by the way.
Nope, the bartender made it for us, and hopefully your bartender, wherever you are, made you a really nice Montana Rita as well.
Yes, and of course we got to hear from some of the CAF athletes, and we love hearing from them and how they've been coping with the pandemic. There's that word again, during this time. It's really been hard for all of us, but when you hear their experiences, it really sets in with the extra challenges that they've had to deal with.
Yeah, I have to say though, hearing Eduardo's story and then hearing from the other four athletes was really something special. The fact that Ben and Garnett have been playing wheelchair basketball together since they were 11, and now they're both going to school in Arizona, it's just serendipitous and amazing. And speaking of amazing, that's called a segue. Now let's hear from Mick Hellman and the well-known Strangers.
Hi everyone, we are psyched to be back at the Celebration of Heart Gala. This is one of our favorite nights of the year. It's an opportunity for us to play music together and to celebrate Challenged Athletes Foundation. It is wonderful to have a chance to be together with you, even if we're not in person, but it's great to have an opportunity to connect with you in this way. I've had the opportunity to be involved with the Challenge Athlete Foundation for several years now and continue to be moved by the lives that we have changed. I've seen firsthand the impact that access to specialized prosthetics and sports equipment can make in the life of someone you love. We had an opportunity this year to spend some time with Breezy, and you should see one of the songs tonight that we worked on with her. She's an amazing human being, an incredible athlete, recent high school grad, cancer survivor, and she is one hell of a singer. Enjoy the evening, and make sure you stick around for the well-known Strangers. Thanks. Bye.
Staring at the sun.
Good evening and welcome to the main program of tonight's Celebration of Heart. For those of you just joining us, I'm Therese Vignal.
And I'm Laura Britt, and we are so honored to be joining you from Purple Patch Fitness Performance Center. This is an inspiring space where athletes of all abilities, they're able to train here. So tonight we obviously might be gathering virtually, but we're joining as one community. And my hope is that you're surrounded by those who have become your strength and support through the challenging times of this past year.
Over the next 45 minutes, we'll be sharing stories of resilience and hope. We hope these stories remind you the powerful impact of community and the difference we can make when we lift each other up.
Hold on to me as we go, as we roll down this unfamiliar road.
We associate who we are with our sport. Not being able to go out, not being able to go to races is very challenging.
Just know you're not alone.
You're not alone. The community you find in sport is unlike anything, and it brings people together.
So I'm gonna make this place your home.
Finding the support through you guys, it's changed all of our lives.
The Challenge Athletes Foundation helps people from all walks of life. These folks need a community. They need to know that they're not fighting this battle all by themselves.
We got something here for you.
The Warriors are actually going to provide me with my own personal basketball chair. Klay Thompson popped up on the jumbo screen.
We know how much you love playing wheelchair basketball. We know it's your passion. On behalf of the Warriors, we would love to support your dreams. We have partnered with the Challenge Athletes Foundation, and we would love to hook you up with a new chair, and hopefully it ups your game a little bit and you continue to have that drive and passion and do what you love to do.
It's my favorite player in NBA history.
This is for you, my man.
That's amazing.
The trouble might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone.
I want to show people that a wheelchair is a gift and a symbol of freedom and independence.
Looking strong, man. Love that.
When I embrace my differences and I embrace my disability, I can shatter any and all limitations anyone would ever try to place upon me.
CF is such an important part in the adaptive sports community because they help make the sport more accessible for everyone.
Just know you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
Honesty moment here. We've seen that like 40 times.
I don't know how many times.
And it's still
every time.
Every single time because it's so inspiring.
I'm good.
And we hope you were inspired. How cool is it also to see Klay Thompson and the Bay Area pro teams support our mission? It really is beautiful to see what we can all accomplish when we come together. And that's what tonight is all about. That video showcased just how critical your support is to help athletes cope with unthinkable challenges. Throughout the night tonight, you're going to be able to make donations using your device or devices. I'm not trying to limit you on your devices. You use whatever you'd like. So
Laptop,
here's how,
tablet, cell
computer,
phone,
whatever you'd like.
Bring them all out. Use them all at once.
Get on the old desktop if you want to. We're going to be tracking our progress throughout the night. Here's how it's going to work. This heart that you see on your screen, which is already at $28,000, by the way, amazing. We're jumping up to 33. It's going to continue to fill throughout the night, as you see right now. Now, the more we all give, as you can see, the faster the heart is going to fill. So just text COH to 858-221-9014. After that, you're going to be asked to make a pledge with your name and gift amount, and then you'll officially be a part of the heart.
And maybe we'll see your name up next to the heart. Get a little shout out. Tonight, we do have a goal to raise $100,000 to help athletes who are emerging from the stress of this pandemic. So let's take a moment to acknowledge tonight's sponsors who have already stepped up to make tonight so impactful. Let's see our silver level sponsors. We have Kristen Roth de Clark, Allison and Michael Mose, 6th Street, and Spinner family. Thank you so much for your contributions.
And also thank you to our bronze level sponsors. You see their names and organizations on the screen. And keep in mind, a lot of the stories that you're hearing and that you're seeing tonight would not be possible without these people.
And of course, thank you to our fan level sponsors as well. Maybe you're one of those people and you see your name up there. So thank you for what you've done. Thank you to tonight's co-chairs, Alan Shankin, Allison Kakoma, and Lotta Moore.
And the support of that group and of course you make these stories possible, and especially stories like the next one.
Let's meet an incredible young woman who just recently found adaptive sports and met the inner athlete inside she never knew was there. Let's meet CAF athlete Carolanne Link.
Being in a track chair, it feels empowering. The rush of the wind, the power of the wheel, you just feel like you can do anything. My name is Carolanne, and I'm 25 years old, and I'm currently living in Oakland, California.
Carolanne was 18 months and still not walking. The pediatrician did some more delving into it, told us she's got cerebral palsy. She could not walk or run after things like other kids.
With my condition, like every extra pound, every weak muscle is more pain, is more difficulty.
So these are her little orthotics.
Both sets have dinosaur Velcro. Growing up, I wasn't self-aware of the disability. The only point that it became really obvious to me was when I was in PE.
And the PE teacher was very strict and had certain times that the kids had to run the mile in. You have to do it in 10 minutes or less. She trained really hard. She got it within like 10 minutes, 20-something seconds. And because of that, she couldn't get an A in that class.
That's when I started just to have a concept that I was different.
We unfortunately did not know much about adaptive sports. All her life she's watched. Her brother is a great lacrosse player. Her mother was a Taekwondo champion.
I lived a little bit vicariously through that, for sure. I didn't get those experiences of adaptive sports growing up.
She got to college. She actually discovered there was a whole world of adaptive sports. And we were just amazed at her happiness level going way up.
She discovered wheelchair basketball with Trooper Johnson.
So lucky that I actually got to meet him while visiting in the Bay Area. And here's Trooper Johnson just sinking threes and making absolutely dominant plays. That was the moment in me where something clicked. I was like, I need to be a part of this.
She actually found another niche, which was wheelchair racing.
This is a stationary roller that me and my dad built. They do have pre-made ones, but I think they're about $1,000, and that was just not a price point within reach at the time.
The chair is so large, she's got bruises and thumps, and everybody keeps telling her, look, you're rattling around in this thing, it's just wrong.
I actually have towels and foam to wedge me in as well as possible.
The rental chair was good enough for a beginner, but she now got to the level where she needed a better one. She couldn't figure out how she would find funds to pay for a real racing wheelchair.
Challenged athletes came along and said, hey, we're willing to help.
This is how you turn it, right? So you got to really plan ahead.
When I got the grant for the race chair, I have to say that I cried on and off for 2 days. It was just so emotionally overwhelming in the best way.
I've never seen her so happy because she felt like, wow, instead of just training in my living room, I can now actually reach for something more competitive with a good quality wheelchair.
What are the Olympics you want to do?
Preferably Paris. So that is my countdown to Paris 2024. That is my ultimate dream.
Others arms down. Good work.
She has that same competitive fire that the rest of us have, and I think this is her opportunity, and I think she wants to take it as far as she can go.
You ready? 3,
2, 1.
CAF gave me this implied permission that it was okay to be me, that I was accepted in this community, in this family. I cannot tell you how impactful that is.
First time ever was 26 in that chair.
My first goal would be to be consistently hit 22 and then move to 20 and then 18. If I could be in the 18s, that would be phenomenal. I mean, the world record is the 16.77, so.
What is she going to be doing next week, next month, next year? You saw the gleam in her eye. When you see that gleam in my daughter's eye, that's worth everything.
As someone who could never run, speed was not in my realm of knowledge. I didn't know what that felt like. When I am in that chair and when my arms are flicking just right and powering down in that rhythm, you just feel so free.
What an incredible woman, and it's so inspiring to see how her drive is ignited to keep growing as an athlete with confidence, pride, and competitive spirit. As you saw, it's so important to receive that introduction to sport and that connection to the community.
Can we just say, go get it, girl?
I know,
Go get it. I love it.
Paris, make it happen.
I can't wait to see pictures from that too. We'd now like to introduce CAF board members and the chairs of tonight's event who have dedicated so much of their time and obviously their passion to grow CAF's presence and impact right here in Northern California. Let's welcome right now Alan Schenken and Lotta Moore.
It was the first week of March 2020. We held the third annual Celebration of Heart Gala to support the Challenge Athletes Foundation. It was a spectacular evening. It had all the normal makings of a gala. Just add the elbow bumping and the cleaning everything you touch and the mystery of COVID-19. We affectionately labeled it the last fully fun day in San Francisco before the shutdown. It was festive. We created community. We heard inspiring stories highlighting our cancer patient, grantees, our veterans, and others. We raised over $500,000 for the third year in a row. This year is different. Our asks from the community of athletes and their families has never been greater, but our fundraising never been more challenging.
This is the year we were all reminded of how important health and sport and fitness and activity is to all of us. Access to sport is not a luxury. What CAF is offering is literally life-saving.
It's fair to say that last year, so many of us truly felt the plight of the challenge athlete. Most of us were not able to do what we want, when we want. We did what we could with very limited resources. That is the daily life of the challenge athlete. Many people ask, where does your money go? It goes to physically challenged athletes at every age who play and compete at all levels of sport. CrossFitters that roll themselves into a gym. Wheelchair basketball players and teams. High school track and field athletes that might have cerebral palsy, might be blind. Skiers, golfers, equestrian riders.
Athletes trying a new sport, a child born different, a 15-year-old with physical disabilities trying to make his or her high school team, those trying for years to make it to the Paralympics, or just an adult searching for a way to create community around activity. And CAF plays a critical and important role in that process of the athletic journey.
And this year, your grants are funding the Bay Area's first ever adaptive mountain climbing team.
It's time for all of us to make a comeback and reset our priorities and, most importantly, our compassion for humanity. And I believe in a world where those of us who can have a moral and practical obligation to help those that have been less fortunate. We're very grateful for your support. So many of you have given graciously over the last many years. We're back. We're asking for you to dig in again. We need your support to get our challenged athletes back into life and back into the game of sports. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you, Alan and Lotta, for your leadership and dedication. This past year, we lost a Bay Area supporter who, through triathlon, felt a true connection to our mission. His legacy will be felt by challenged athletes for years to come. Thanks to all who loved him. Let's take a minute to remember Tom Trauger.
My husband Tom Trauger started competing in triathlon in 2006 after overcoming a difficult period in his life. Soon after he started racing, he joined the Pack Bikes triathlon team. Tom raced for Pack Bikes for 5 years. In 2012, Tom joined an elite group of athletes when the national team Everyman Jack was formed. This team became a part of our family and an important part of our community. Tom mentored and inspired the young men on his team, and he enjoyed every minute of it. Tom dug deep to achieve his personal best in sport and in his personal life. He encouraged his teammates to do the same. Tom was always front and center at the triathlon awards ceremonies, cheering for his teammates and celebrating their wins. But it wasn't just his teams or his age group competitors that Tom cheered for on the podium. Early on, I observed that Tom was especially moved by the dedication of the challenged athletes. He always stayed for the Challenged Athletes Awards at every race. My husband was no stranger to adversity, and he knew these athletes had sacrificed much and worked very hard. He cheered, he cried, he beamed with pride. These athletes were and are beyond inspiring. In December last year, my husband's life was tragically taken in a bike crash in Las Vegas when he was riding the Nipton Loop with a group of friends. When I thought about how I wanted to honor his memory, I knew that fundraising and supporting the Challenged Athletes Foundation was the right choice. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of the celebration of heart tonight, and thank you for honoring Tom with this beautiful tribute.
I know I speak for Laura when I say that story is incredibly moving, and what Tom's family has raised in his memory and what we will raise here tonight will change lives far into the future.
I want to check in on the heart so I can gather my emotions here real quick and see how we're all doing, because that's what tonight is all about, is filling this heart up. And we're already at $49,000. That is really incredible. David, we see you. Timothy and Virginia, we see you. I saw Alan Shankin's name up there. Of course, Alan Shankin's name is on there.
We're halfway through the heart, people, but we need you to dig a little bit deeper, maybe have another Montana Rita.
and drink a few more Montana Ritas.
And feel a little bit more generous, because we've got to fill that heart tonight, because so many athletes are depending on the funds from what is raised here tonight.
Yeah, we often get asked what all the equipment actually costs, and I think that's such a great question from people, because when something like this, a challenge is not right in front of you, I think a lot of times we get caught up in our own lives and you don't realize the price of some of these things. So let's go through some of the costs of adaptive equipment. A pair of Oser running prosthetics costs $30,000.
I can't believe that. That's unreal. A hand cycle costs $5,000. A basketball wheelchair, $3,500.
Monoski costs $8,000. A racing wheelchair, like we've seen in a lot of the stories here tonight, and like the one granted to Carolanne, that costs about $4,000, and a hockey sled is $2,000. And the crazy part about all this, Therese,
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, you might think, oh, should be covered by insurance, and it should be, but the reality is it's not covered by insurance. So let's keep filling tonight's heart to make sure that we can help fund this equipment.
That's right. So we're going to meet a few more athletes that maybe will move your hearts and your wallets a little bit here, because we're only halfway through, funding the whole heart tonight. So reach down deep. Let's make this happen, because there's a lot of athletes out there that need your help.
Let's meet a young athlete who has found great joy and excitement by being granted the gift of running. Here's Lucas.
My name is Lucas, and I am 6 years old. Lucas was born with a congenital birth defect called fibular hemimelia, so he has a complete absence of his fibula in his left leg.
Come on. Uh-oh. Get up and do it again.
He got his first prosthetic probably a couple weeks after his amputation. Lucas is an active kid, and he loves to camp, he loves to hike, he loves to play with his big brother and his little sister. We've done t-ball, he's in swim lessons. He wants to run. I won. We've had some tears with sports, and I can't do it, I don't have 2 legs, and I don't want him to ever feel like that.
When I first met him and his mom, he was telling me about how much he likes to run and like he's the fastest kid he knows. He's got so much running potential, and without a running blade, like there's not a good place to put that energy.
Eric contacted us and said that we had this opportunity to get him his very first running blade.
Building this running prosthesis really is fitting his whole personality, not just his leg. This is your big new leg. Yes. All right, let's open it. Ready? Whoa. Oh my God, are you happy?
I'm gonna like go as fast as a big guy, like away about like.
I'm like, hey, you want to walk out to the hallway and do some running? And he's like, no, I want to go outside and run.
I think that having a running blade is just going to be phenomenal for him. And he'll really be able to see that he can do anything.
These Oser blades are super expensive, and it takes resources to get kids into this level prosthesis. Shriners and CAF, Challenge Athletes Foundation, can come together and really help somebody like Lucas grow into their biggest potential.
We've always told him that he can do anything that he sets his mind to.
How fast are you? Go.
And I think this running blade is just going to boost his confidence through the roof. This is just going to be an awesome opportunity for him, and we are so excited to see how far he goes. He can do anything.
A big shout out to the Shriners Hospital team. They really made Lucas feel like he was an all-star. He didn't need much encouragement though.
Yeah, he's already awesome.
He's as fast as a Bugatti is what he said.
That's hilarious. That's really funny.
He was ready to fly with his new running blade.
Yeah, and it was so cool to see it customized like that, especially for a kid Lucas's age, to be able to get excited. I mean, he hugged it. He hugged it. That should show the meaning that this equipment means to these athletes.
Right. There are so many like Lucas and Carolanne who hold on to the dream that they too can get a piece of equipment to unlock their inner athlete and help them define who they are and who they want to become. And maybe that's a Bugatti.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is. We already went through a lot of the costs, but as you could see, that equipment is too often out of reach, a financial barrier, and that's far too great to overcome. But tonight, we all have the chance to change that and play a role in changing lives, literally changing lives and changing people's futures.
We saw from Carolanne's story that the right equipment is so critically important to be able to engage in sport. Remember when she was like trying to make do with the racing wheelchair that she had at home, and
that her and her dad built.
She had bruises all over her arm because it wasn't the right one for her, and getting her just the right piece of equipment from CAF has now changed her completely. She wants to shoot for the Olympics because now she feels so empowered by something like this.
Yeah, and she can. That's what's cool, because of all of us, because of all of us here tonight, and because mainly of you and the dollars that you're donating. So let's check back in on the heart. I want to see.
Oh,
I want to see. I want to see.
Up.
We're going to see who all's been donating and how we're doing. We're already up to $66,000. I see Charlie Moore up there. I love an anonymous giver. I think that shows some true heart right there too.
We got 2 anonymous givers. All you anonymous givers out there, shout out to all
you.
But you see you, Stephanie. We see you, Carly. Isn't it feel like romper room when we do this though? Like I see, am I dating myself with that? Romper
Do I know
room?
what that
no,
is?
That just shows I'm older than Laura.
I don't know what romper room is.
It's like I see Tommy and Carrie, and like you go around the room.
I
and you
feel
just
like
say
Oprah
that.
when you're like, you get a car.
Oh yeah, that's
get a car.
There we go. Let's bring me back down in a few age ranges.
Okay, I'm going to go Google this after we finish tonight.
Okay.
This year, 22% of our grantees, nearly 1/4, were under the age of 18.
So they don't get my romper room.
They definitely don't get it.
No, you didn't get it. 66% of our grantees are in households earning less than $50K per year, and within that percentage, 40% earned less than $20,000.
So when you think about what Carolanne was saying with the $1,000 piece of equipment that she needed and that it wasn't doable for her family, that's why. Because a lot of these athletes come from situations where they really need some help. They need our support. And I loved what Lotta had to say about being a supportive person of people that are not in our specific situation. And so we're able to really help them.
I'm being told to check in on the heart. So let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
That's
jumped
why
up
we
to
want to
the
check in on it.
75,000. We're almost there, people. Come on. Let's get it filled. That's why we're all gathered here tonight, to make this happen. Danny, Todd, Charlie, more anonymous. I see all of you. You're giving. We appreciate everything that you guys are doing here tonight. We would love to fill the heart before we have to say goodbye.
We're so close. We're so close. We're almost there. And $100,000 is a doable goal for all of us, but I don't want to take away from all of the people that have already given and everybody that's doing so much right now as you're gathered together. I mean, hopefully you have your Montana Ritas. I want to see pictures of those.
Yeah, you can get social with that. We want to see how all of you are gathered together, and maybe you're just enjoying this at home with your inner circle that you have yourself. And we want to see those pictures, though, of you being a part of tonight's event using, I'm going to look at this, it's the hashtag Celebration Heart SF and hashtag CAF Strong. So post those pictures, post your videos. This is how we bring the community back together from being virtual. We're using a virtual element to create community again.
Yeah, but I don't know if you've checked in on the chat. Hey to everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
I love it. Nobody in the chat, I guess, told me that I was holding this upside down. Thanks. Appreciate that. This is fantastic because this also has the Montana Rita drink recipe in here. Love that. I see that we're getting up to $76,000. So I know that a lot of you are doing the best that you can to help change lives, help change futures. And I think to Lucas's story, and you just put yourself in his mom's shoes and, in his parents' shoes and his family's shoes, and to be able to see the light in him when he opened that box. That's such a cool moment that you are changing lives. You're providing that for people right now.
And for fortunate parents like ourselves, you have 3 kids, I have 2 kids. The things that we think about when it comes to equipment are like baseball gloves or cleats or something like that. We don't have to think about prosthetic legs or racing wheelchairs, but these families do, and that's why they need your help. And I'm being told once again, let's go to the heart. Let's see.
$81,000.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a golf clap situation.
Golf clap?
Golf clap to every Kathleen
Family
Frost.
Feud, good answer.
Yes, okay,
good
there we
answer.
go.
There you go.
Now we're getting into my wheelhouse. I know Family Feud. I know that. I think all of you know that too. So Teresa and I were stuck here tonight all by our lonesome together. But next year, we're of course hoping that all of us are able to be back together. But honestly, it really has been wonderful sharing this night with all of you. The best part is knowing that all of you made a real impact. You helped change people's futures. And when we're saying that, I know we've said that a lot, but you think about those stories, that's not possible without you. That's not possible without these dollars. That's not possible without what we're all doing as a community together. And that is truly a beautiful thing. Thank you, of course, to Chef Eduardo and all of our athletes, and most of all, thanks to you.
So to cap off our evening, we do get the honor of watching a special performance by the well-known strangers and local athlete, Breezy Bohenick. Thank you all, and we're going to come back after, is what I'm being told.
We're going to see it a little bit after this.
Yeah, we're going to see the back after this.
Sometimes it's hard to breathe. All these thoughts, they shout at me, try to bring me to my knees. And it's overwhelming, darkness echoes all around. Feel like everything's crashing down. Still know where my hope is found. And it's only you and ooh. You say you're working everything for my good, and ooh, I believe every word. 'Cause even in the madness, there is peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you were writing a symphony, a symphony. surround. You will never let me drown. I know where my hope is found. In the name of Jesus. Ooh. You say you're working everything for my good, and ooh, I believe every word. 'Cause even in the madness, there is peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you were writing a symphony, and even in the madness, there is peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you were writing a symphony, a symphony. A symphony. 'Cause even in the madness, there is peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you were writing a symphony, and even in the madness, there is peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you were writing a symphony, a symphony. Oh, 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 a symphony. Oh, 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 a symphony.
What can Breezy not do? That's incredible.
I don't know.
She is amazing. She sang last year. If you were at the gala, you probably remember her singing last year. Such a talented individual. I got to check back in on the heart. I want to see.
Yeah, I know we're so.
Let's see.
So
98.5.
close.
This is amazing. Look what you all are doing at home or at your parties or at your events. We are right there. We're right there. We did it.
Oh, you did it. You all did it at home. Over $100,000 to make dreams come true for so many athletes out there that don't have the funds or the opportunity to just live life the way that they should.
Yeah, I want to take a look back before we go, just at
so you know
what
where
your
this money is
dollars
going.
Are doing, what they're going towards, because that last push, those last dollars, they mean something. They mean something to real people. They mean something to athletes that need the access to equipment.
What was it, $30,000 for prosthetic running legs?
Yes,
there we go.
Look what you've done. You're going to be able to provide this type of equipment to people within that $100,000, a hand cycle, $5,000, that basketball wheelchair, which we've seen so many athletes use, and racing wheelchair is $4,000. That's what your money's going to, and we reached our goal. This is so incredible. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you so much for just reaching deep down and giving to others. Maybe you don't know personally, but you're part of this community and you're part of this family. So thank you for all that you've done and being a part of such a special night.
Yeah, and we hope that you'll join us. And I'm hoping to see some real faces, not this virtual stuff next year, but we hope you all have a wonderful night. And we also want to remind you don't have to stop giving now. I know a lot of you
just because we reached a goal doesn't mean we can't go
we
beyond
can still
the
go.
goal. We can keep going. So while you're at your parties or at your home and you want to maybe check back in and give a little bit more, I'm sure they'll appreciate that.
Yes, and we welcome that too. But thanks to all of you at home, and we hope to see you soon.
Good night, everybody.
all these thoughts they shout at me, try to bring me to my knees, and it's overwhelming. Darkness echoes all around, feel like everything is crashing down. Still I know where my hope is found, and it's only you and ooh. You say you're working everything for my good, and ooh, I believe every word, 'cause even in the madness there is peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you were writing a symphony, and even in the madness there is peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you were writing a symphony, a symphony. Oh. Tune my heart to your beat, let me be your melody, even when I cannot see. But you orchestrated, even when the dark's around.